Oh, hello there. Yes. Well, just rejoice. Rejoice. Overnight, Britain and America have struck rebel positions in Africa, in a place where I think most newspaper editors couldn't actually find on the map and certainly have no idea about the history of the region. Still, at least it's going to distract us from all those other problematic things, because did look dangerously yesterday like the press was actually going to start reporting the fact that our government might not be entirely brilliant and they might have to put things on the front page. Obviously we can't have genocide in Gaza and that particular messiness from the South Africans, boo and hiss to them, on the front page, and the post office stuff was starting to look like, well, slightly problematic. And then there's Prince Andrew, of course, but luckily now we have a keen and decisive government that wants to look strong. So overnight strikes, drone strikes from missiles in the Red Sea from presumably the last British warship afloat, because we can't actually get the sailors. Can't get the sailors because, well, we've had a habit this century of, bombing targets in countries that end in "an", and it's not always worked out particularly well, and it's had kind of knock-on effects which have of course allowed the government to have a go at migrants who come here just not to get bombed, apparently. And the reason of course why we can't actually staff our warships is because, well, nobody actually wants to die in these pointless wars which the government seems to be keen on pursuing. Yes, indeed, neatly playing into perhaps a wider geopolitical issues, because of course we do need to bomb the Houthi rebels in Yemen. Probably won't be Yemen for a lot longer, because the Saudis are quite keen on giving them their own state. The reason why the Saudis are quite keen on giving them their own state is because they've been bombing them on a very regular basis, but the Saudis have been using British planes, British bombs and British expertise to bomb the Houthi rebels, whereas of course now we have British drones and missiles and British the expertise to. Anyway, it's bound to work, so just rejoice in that, because of course we can't have a situation whereby governments dictate to us what we're doing. We can't have a wider war, which is why of course we're striking out with a wider war. This is the most important thing that we can do, because it's vital that those containers with supplies of Nintendo games don't take a few extra days, I should say, to go around South Africa. It's absolutely vital we keep that waterway open, otherwise the entire economy will crash and we'll all die. So it's vital that we actually bomb people back into presumably slightly beyond the Stone Age. Anyway, yes, this will play neatly into that international coalition of forces, like us and Bahrain and Canada and Australia, who are kind of lending moral support as far as I can make out in this particular campaign. And we're definitely striking against the bad people, because they're an international coalition of people who are a bit cross about what's going on in Gaza, but they mustn't do anything about what's going on in Gaza, whereas we must do something about what's going middle. I don't know, it's confusing, isn't it? Yes, I am reminded of the Proclaimers song, yeah? Tell your sons not to play football. Get a backpack on and crawl. Looks like we're in it for the long haul. Yes, indeed. Still, at least we're not the baddies. It's the important thing, isn't it? What could go wrong?